This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening and welcome to the Alpena City Council meeting of February 21st, 2022. Call the order, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Mitchell.
Here.
Councilman Noah.
Here.
Councilwoman Walchak.
Here.
And Mayor Walagora.
Here. Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilman Noah.
Yes.
Councilwoman Walchak.
Yes.
And Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Any proposed modifications to the agenda? Thank you. Okay, approval of the minutes for regular session of February 7th, 2022 and special session of February 16th, 2022. Any issues or changes? All right, citizens appearing before council on agenda and non-agenda items are allowed 5 minutes each to address your concerns. If you're here live with us in the room and you'd like to do so, please come to the podium and state your name and address for our records.
Good evening. My name is Megan Wright. My address is 327 North Brook Street, Brooke, Alpena, Michigan, 49707. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I am here to humbly ask you to reconsider allowing recreational marijuana to be sold in our town. I'm a citizen of the city, and I want to preserve it and give it the chance to grow into something more noteworthy than a place to get pot. We are known as a DARE community. We educate and encourage children, teenagers, and young adults to resist taking, using, and abusing drugs that they are offered by their peers, people that they know, and people that they don't know. Do you truly want to undermine the efforts of those who want to make us a drug-free community by allowing recreational marijuana to be sold in our town? I would like to start by telling you a story. In 2019, I visited Amsterdam, Holland, on my way to Brussels, Belgium. And it stays in my memory as one of the worst days of my life. Now, you may or may not know, but Amsterdam is known for having a prolific market in marijuana. Like here, marijuana is not legal there, but in Holland, it is tolerated because the Dutch see it as a personal health decision and not as an illegal substance. The reason why it was the worst experience I have ever had was because I got a contact high from being in the vicinity of so much smoke. I was sick for days. And I am allergic to marijuana. It causes detrimental effects to me. It makes breathing, staying awake, and seeing very difficult. It gives me migraines, itching, chills, shaking, nausea, and more symptoms. And all of this is simply caused by me smelling it. I don't even have to be in the vicinity of someone actively smoking it. I have smelled it on people and had the symptoms, and they haven't smoked for hours. So the question is, do I really need to be afraid to leave my own home and go to school because I am afraid, not for my own safety, but because of how bad my allergies are? So I asked you, do you really want to encourage and give ready access to drugs to, say, our homeless population, to the high school students who walk past the locations you have slated for the dispensaries every day? You may say that you have to be 21 to buy marijuana, but I guarantee you that I am 18 years old. And my peers who attend the high school, that I know that they may not be drug addicts, but they will find a way to have that marijuana and to use it because they will think it is fun. Now, they will never consider the detrimental effects that it causes on themselves or the people around them. They might in 30 years when they are first arrested for driving under or being under 21 and being convicted of being under the influence of an illegal substance, or when they have children and their children have birth defects. or even when they are struggling with another addiction because marijuana led them to have a different addiction. I can also speak for the people over 21 because I am a full-time college student at Alpena Community College. And I want to ask you, do you really want to give students the access to a federally illegal drug that can, one, cause a significant drop in productivity, cognitive ability, and the ability to perform basic tasks? And two, to encourage that drugs are okay by allowing it? You might reply it's their personal choice, but I also say that you are also accountable because you are the ones who made it readily accessible to them. And for the record, marijuana can exacerbate depression and mental illness, which is a very obvious, and a lot of times it occurs on college campuses. And ACC doesn't turn a blind eye to that. They are known because they do not tolerate drugs on any of their grounds. And I have seen students asked to leave class because they had marijuana, the scent of it on them. And my professors and faculty at ACC do not tolerate that. And from my understanding, you guys are allowing these dispensaries open because you want to keep money local, because people were leaving town to buy it, but still bringing it back here. But I want to ask you, do you really want your children to be exposed to secondhand smoke, to getting the potential of getting contact highs? Do you really want to see an 8-year-old on a playground get high because they were in vicinity of someone who smoked marijuana? Do you really want to see the growth defects that it can cause? Do you really want to see in the future of if they use marijuana while they are pregnant, the birth defects or the possibility that they won't even be able to carry their baby to term? Do you want to see our city affected by marijuana, by people being arrested for using an illegal drug, for driving under the influence of it, for potentially placing other people in danger because their own ability for perception and cognition is impaired? Do you really want to hamper yourself in your ability to work, spend time in our city, and enjoy the fresh air that we have by having smoke of marijuana and the influence and the effect of marijuana in our city? I think that you will find that if you truly consider the cost of allowing marijuana compared to the monetary benefit that it may bring.
Right. Additional 30 seconds.
Yes, thank you, sir. That you will find that the cost of it outweighs any monetary benefit that it can bring. So I implore you, please reconsider your decision to allow recreational marijuana in Alpena, because even though the law has already been passed, any laws can be changed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Megan. All right. Anyone else live? Anyone on the internet? All right, thank you. Next up is consent agenda. I have bills to be allowed in the amount of $387,312.40. And B is a budget amendment request to move budgeted amounts from the police department to the newly created training funds department in the amount of $4,800.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walchak,
Yes.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
And Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And now we come down to a proclamation we have this evening. Excuse me. This is the Rotary Club of Alpena's 100th anniversary proclamation. Whereas through commitment and vision of 23 founding members, the Rotary Club of Alpena held its first meeting 100 years ago on February 21st, 1922 in the Bertrand building on the corner of 2nd and Chisholm. And whereas in the 10 decades since, the club and its Rotarians have been committed to serving the community and beyond. And whereas past and present members of the Alpena Rotary Club have generously contributed to Rotary International Foundation to help eradicate polio, fight waterborne illnesses, and create safe learning environments for children, and to the Rotary Club of Alpena Foundation to support local needs. And whereas from minstrel shows in the 1920s to the legendary Rotary radio auction, through the 2020s, Rotarians have embarked on countless activities and projects to support and enhance the Alpena community for its families and visitors alike. And whereas youth have been ever-present focus through inbound and outbound youth exchanges, scholarships, special recognitions, and honoring academic achievements of graduating students. And whereas whether caring for Rotary Island Mill, constructing the Starlight Beach Playground and the first section of the Bicentennial Bypath, raising and contributing funds necessary to construct the Rotary Splash Park, or installing new benches on the break wall. The Rotary motto of service above self inspires members to participate and grow the ideals of Rotary. Now, therefore, I, Matthew J. Walagora, by the virtue of authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Alpena, do hereby proclaim February 22nd, 2022 February 21st, 2022 as the Rotary Club of Alpena 100th Anniversary Day in the city of Alpena, and encourage residents to congratulate and thank Rotarians for their incredible contributions to Alpena. And we have some Rotarians here this evening with us. They want to come up and join me. Did it stay on?
I was able to find it.
Oh, good, thank you.
You want me to go behind you?
Oh, I lost it.
You want me to go over there?
Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Yeah, I'll take it here.
Yeah.
Just clicking.
All right, that's fine.
Did you get that portrait? Thank you all for what you do.
All right, report of officers. The first reading of ordinance 22-471, which amends the city of Alpena zoning map. And Bill Pfeifer has that.
This ordinance 22-471. It's an amendment to the city of Alpena zoning map. We ordained that the city of Alpena zoning ordinance map is hereby amended as follows. I think I may have just noticed a mistake. That's not here specifically. This says the parcel located at 324 North Addison Street, but the conditional rezone says 327 North.
327.
So I suggest you make a change to my proposed ordinance. So the parcel located at 327 North Addison shall be conditionally rezoned from R2 to RT. And the statement of conditions shall be recorded with the Register of Deeds. The conditions are that the property will be utilized as a duplex to increase the available housing stock in the area. Section 2 is a severability clause. Section 3 is a saving clause. Section 4 is the effective date. It says the ordinance changes shall take effect upon the expiration of 7 days after the publication of the notice of adoption.
Okay. And obviously no issues with the timeliness of a second reading at the next meeting. Very good. Is there issues other than the address? Bill?
It was Rachel that told me to put 320.
You know, I'll take.
And it was Anna that told her.
I'll remember that.
We could table
To table it now.
that. You first.
You guys are killing me, gonna get me killed. All right, we're down to new business. A is water production plant filter differential pressure transmitters and flow meter proposal. And Steve Shultz is here with us, city engineer.
I'm not going to read the title again because
Oh, that's fine.
on February 8th, 2022, the city received an open proposals for the replacement of 7 differential pressure transmitters and 7 flow meters located in filters at the water production plant. At the same time, the project will address relocation of a 4-inch pipe to provide adequate location to drain one of the filters for maintenance. The bid documents were sent to 12 firms and plan rooms and posted on the city's website, with 1 bid received as listed below here from Tempest Enterprises, $88,324.83. We had one other bidder that sent in that declined to bid. We don't get that a lot. If they don't bid, they just don't submit a bid usually, but this is somebody from downstate, so that's evidently how they usually do things. So Tempest Enterprises LLC is the contractor who developed the SCADA system within the plant completed the PID documents for the plant operations and therefore are very familiar with the scope of the project. Sufficient funding for the work outlined above is available in the capital outlay item for the water treatment plant. We did budget $100,000 for this project and it came in at 88, so we were pretty thrilled with that. It's my recommendation to the city engineer that the water production filter differential pressure transmitters and flow meters project be awarded to Tempest Enterprises in the amount of $88,324.83. This project, as well as the next project, we've had kind of a rash of one bidder situations in a lot of these. And I know sometimes there's speculation on, if there's something happening behind the scenes where a bidder will, get together with another bidder and one will say, I'll take this project and you take that project. And I really don't think that's what's going on here. Both of these projects are very specialized and both these contractors have spent a lot of time doing other projects inside the plants. And I think knowing that, some of the bidders just kind of go, well, it's going to take me twice as long just to figure things out. And it's going to cost me twice as much to do this project. We have heard that. And then in addition to that, we've had people just say they're full. They, if they know if they bid, they're going to bid higher because it's going to cost them more to get the work done. And they just don't bother bidding it because, they got a full schedule till September, October, whatever. So, and these two projects are something that we want to get finished before July 1. So that's kind of the spiel on that as far as the one bidder process goes. So something that we're seeing a lot more often now, less people working and availability of people to do the work.
Couple questions, Steve, if I can. Can you give us, what is the life cycle of this product? I mean, over the last few years, we've heard that there's a, a shelf like the government kind of puts on that. And I'm just wondering if this particular product has that same timeline, or is it just a short term? Or
it is certainly not short term. This would be long term. This is something, some of these things have not been, some of these are original to the plant. Some of these things that we're going to go through tonight. So it's definitely a longer life cycle on this stuff. It's, we're not going to be seeing these things in 10 years or 20 years.
And just curious, what is the function of these?
Very, very technical.
Read the title of it.
I'm gonna, they're. It has a lot to do with just being more efficient with everything and measuring pressures and things like that and operating things just a lot more efficiently instead of just a full open valve. You're going with a, kind
of a metering it out.
Yeah, metering and things like that. Yeah. Yep.
Questions, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, thank you. I don't have any.
I move we approve the water production plant filter differential pressure transmitter and flow meters to Tempest Enterprises in the amount of $88,324.83. And I did have to practice that one a couple of
Yeah.
Second.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wolchak, Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, Councilman Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And next up is the water production plant basin valve replacement proposal. Steve as well.
All right. On February 8th, 2022, the city received an open proposals for the replacement of 10 valves in the mixing and sedimentation basins within the water, it's actually water production plant. These valves are original to the plant construction, like we talked about, and have begun to fail, causing issues with controlling and maintenance work needed to within the treatment process. In addition, maintenance work will also be performed on cracking in the wall between the sedimentation basins and the basement of the treatment plant. Bid documents were sent to 25 firms and plan rooms and posted on the city's website. Meridian came in, was the only bidder at $137,801 for the valves, $2,500 for the wall repair, and then an emergency startup at $750. Meridian has completed the site visit to the facility and has thorough understanding of the project and the seriousness of the timelines. They have completed similar projects in past at the plant successfully. Due to the preparation, effort, and coordination necessary to drain the tanks and the exact amount of work needed for the wall repair is unknown at this time. So the wall repair price is based on one known crack that we know of right now. However, it is the intent to make any repairs necessary while the tanks are drained within the scope of the project. Because of the necessity to make the immediate calls in the field, we are requesting authorization to make repairs not to exceed $15,000. With the hopes to never have to implement it, the city has also requested a price to implement a restart of the plant. It would be like an emergency restart if all of a sudden we get to a certain point in the project and we need to make water. We don't anticipate that the project will take this long, but there's a potential is there, so we're requesting an authorization to implement this startup at any time that we need to. Sufficient funding for all this work is outlined above is available in the capital outlay item for this project. We did have $200,000 budgeted for this, so we were thrilled with what it came in at. As my recommendation as city engineer, the water production plant basin valve replacement project be awarded to Meridian Contracting Services in the amount of $137,801 for the valve replacement and up to $15,000 for wall repairs and $750 per occurrence for emergency startup.
Questions not for you, questions for Bill, with all of those items on there. More than one motion, I'm assuming?
Probably should make separate.
Oh, okay.
Steve, for the emergency startup,
Mhm.
you're requesting authorization to implement the startup at any time necessary. Would you need that from us if you weren't doing this work and you need to do an emergency?
It's more just to spend the money is what it is. It's
$750
not requesting
the addition to,
startup. It's just requesting to spend that money to do that,
okay,
No,
but not the startup itself.
no,
You're not going to get us all together.
no, right. Yeah, no, there'll be none of that.
Involved in that.
No.
Thank you, sir. All right, so probably probably four. I'm seeing the valve replacement, the wall repair, the emergency startup, and the not to exceed. Or do you want to do the not to exceed right with the wall repair, Bill?
Probably be
2,500 not to exceed? Okay, so three altogether.
Okay. I move we approve the water basin valve replacement project be awarded to Meridian Contracting in the amount of $137,801. Any?
Councilwoman Wolchak,
Yes.
Mayor Walagora,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
and Councilman Noah.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move we approve the wall repair as presented for $2,500 and up to $15,000, not to exceed $15,000.
Second.
Mayor Walagora.
Aye.
Timing isn't.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Wolchak.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And finally, I move that we approve the $750 for the emergency startup if needed for each occurrence.
I second.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wolchak,
Yes.
and Mayor Walagora.
Aye. Okay. Next up is Council Policy number 59, Capital Asset Management. And Leilan is here to explain that to us.
Last but not least, Council Policy Statement number 59 for Capital Asset Management. The City of Alpena has policies and procedures in managing its capital assets, but there has been no formal document put in place. Thus, our auditors recommended that we create Council Policy Statement number 59 for capital asset management. Specifically, this is the policy for accounting of the City of Alpena's capital assets. It is the purpose of this policy to describe the policies and procedures utilized in the City of Alpena's capital asset management system and to put in place guidelines for accounting and depreciating the city's capital assets. The goals are to ensure that the city's capital assets are accounted for in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and to establish a consistent and cost-effective method for accounting of capital assets. This policy sets the threshold of capitalizing individual assets that cost $5,000 or more and have an estimated useful life of at least 2 years. The assets that were acquired and capitalized at a lower threshold prior to the implementation of this policy will continue to be depreciated on the basis of past practice. Before we raised the threshold to 5,000, which was in the fiscal year of 1920, it was actually $3,000. And then before that, it was $1,000. And then as the auditors, they recommended that we should raise it up. So that's why it's now 5,000, and that's the current practice. This policy includes a glossary of terms. It also includes fixed assets and capitalization policy that provides guidance in asset acquisition and disposal and defines capital asset and purchasing thresholds. It is my recommendation as Deputy Clerk, Treasurer, Finance Director to approve Council Policy Statement number 59 for capital asset management as presented. So basically, this policy, if approved, just puts everything in writing, makes it all official.
Awesome. And I appreciate you not reading it. It's extremely long.
Oh. I can go through.
Just interested in that. If it is approved, it'll certainly be on the city's website. I don't have any questions. I appreciate you guys finding that and putting that into writing. So
Thank you.
So I move that we adopt. I second.
now you have to take your other role. Do you? Did you bring it with you? I'm sorry. I didn't know if you brought it with you.
My boss told me to bring it with me.
When you're ready to call the order, please.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Nowak,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wolchak,
Yes.
Mayor Walagora,
Aye.
and Mayor Pro Tem Johnson.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Leilan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Move that we adjourn.
Second.
Session, what a good day.